Ladies and gentlemen, we did it, guys. We made it through the Jackson Hayes era, man, and us Lakers fans, we finally got a starting caliber center in Deandre Ayton. So, according to Shams Charania, Deandre Ayton has agreed to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. Sources tell ESPN between Portland and LA, Ayton will earn $34 million next season. And they're talking about like his agents and stuff like that, and how they got the deal done. But before I go into depth on like how I feel about DeAndre Ayton, I want you guys to read this retweet that Shams put out as well. The Lakers find their starting center in Ayton, the 2018 number one overall pick, who is the only player in NBA history to average 15 plus points and 60+% shooting in the postseason. He has career averages of 16.4 points and 10.5 rebounds on 59% shooting over the last 7 seasons. This guy is not a superstar. He is not a superstar. But we are not going to sit up here and act like, guys, that we did not just get an absolute bargain deal for signing this guy for just $8.7 million a year or $8.6 million a year, not having to give up any assets like Dalton Connect, a first round pick, a pick swap. Getting this guy for $8 million a year is an absolute bargain because he is a starting caliber center. When he was playing with Chris Paul in Phoenix, he played his best basketball. Now he's about to be surrounded by 3 really, really good playmakers in Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. And like I said earlier, I love this guy as a fit on our team if we don't have to give up assets and trade for a $35 million contract coming back in. And you have to give up a whole lot of other players and picks and stuff like that. And you can't use those assets to maybe trade for another wing like an Andrew Wiggins or a Herb Jones or somebody along those lines. So let's go ahead and hop into another little like tidbit that I've seen with DeAndre Ayton talking about something like his advanced stats, because the best attribute about this guy, in my opinion, is his ability to rebound. He is a very, very consistent rebounder, and I think that's his strongest attribute in the NBA. This guy can be on whatever team. He can be on the worst team in the league. He's still going to average 10 to 11 rebounds, and I think that is very, very underrated. And that's something that we lacked in the playoffs last year, and that's the reason why we got absolutely smoked by the Minnesota Timberwolves, because we didn't have a center that could protect the rim or rebound. If Jackson Hayes just could rebound, we would have been fine. Now, when you look at DeAndre Ayton's offensive rebounding analytics on Basketball Index, his advanced stats for offensive rebounding talent is an A. Offensive rebounds per 75 possessions is an A. Offensive rebounding crashing skill is an F. But when it comes to that for a center, that's not really going to matter that much, because when it comes to crashing, you're already around the rim. He's not a perimeter player, so he's going to always be in the paint for the most part if he's in the game. So this really doesn't matter as much, in my opinion. Offensive rebounding conversion skill A+, putback scoring per impact per 70. The putbacks, the offensive rebounding putbacks, DeAndre Ayton really does that very, very well. He got an A+ grade on that. And then putbacks per 75 possessions is an A+ as well. This is the 95 percentile. Like these are top of the league ratings by DeAndre Ayton when it comes to offensive rebounding. Then on top of that, the finishing around the rim. This is what this is what we have been lacking the last couple years, or the last season without Anthony Davis. A center that can finish around the rim and pick and roll. Every single time, the only time Jackson Hayes scored for our team is when it was a lob or a literal lob, and he catch the ball and dunk it, or he catch the ball and lay it up. It was rarely. I ain't gonna say never, but it was rare that Jackson Hayes caught the ball, gathered, went up for a layup, went up for a jump hook, or anything like that. Only time Jackson Hayes was really scoring was on lobs. DeAndre Ayton is a great lob threat. He's not as good of a lob threat as Jackson Hayes because of the athleticism. But when it comes to the catch radius and stuff like that, his catch radius and ability to finish around the rim is night and day compared to Jackson Hayes. And yes, I'm comparing DeAndre Ayton to Jackson Hayes because DeAndre Ayton is going to be the starting center for this team that just made it to the playoffs and won 50 games with Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. You are comparing a guy that is a career 16 and 11 guy over a dude that can't even play in the first round of a series because he can't rebound and play defense. So this guy is he is an elite offensive rebounder. He has a really, really nice feathery touch around the rim. I hope that he kind of cuts down on those mid-range jump shots a little bit this season. I think more of his looks will be a little bit more clean. He is a much better post defender and just a defender in general when you compare him to Jackson Hayes. And like I said, I'm comparing him to Jackson Hayes because Jackson Hayes was the starting center for this team last season. And last but not least, defensive rebounding. He's got an A on rebounding per 75 possessions. He's got an A+ on defensive rebounding conversion skill, and he has an A+ on defensive rebounding talent. So he is a really, really good offensive rebounder and a really, really good defensive rebounder. But like I said at the beginning of the video, that's probably his greatest strength, is rebounding the ball. And that's what we need. I've said that multiple times throughout every single video I've talked about when it comes to us acquiring a center this summer. Rob Pelinka did get lucky because this guy got bought out and he wanted to come join the Lakers. But at the same time, I don't care how Rob Pelinka or the Lakers pulled it off. We just needed a starting caliber center. And Deandre Ayton is that. He is a starting caliber center in this league, especially when you pair him with a guy that runs pick and roll like Luka Doncic, that can score any given time he runs a pick and roll. Or he'll get his teammates involved as well. So, like I said, I also want to show you guys just a few of his highlights when it comes to catching and dunking. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to compare as well. Now, I was very upset. Well, I wasn't very upset, but I was kind of upset once the Lakers lost Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston Rockets. But when you really think about what they did with the money that they had for Dorian Finney-Smith, they turned Dorian Finney-Smith, letting him walk and not extending a 32-year-old for 4 years and giving him $50 million over a 4-year span, or $60 million, however much he got. But he got the full middle-level exception from the Houston Rockets. They turned Dorian Finney-Smith into Jake LaRavia and Deandre Ayton. That is great roster balance, and that is a great move. I would do that 10 times out of 10. I love Dorian Finney-Smith. I love what he did for our team, but I feel like Jake LaRavia is a younger, maybe less grittier version of Dorian Finney-Smith. And I feel like Deandre Ayton is the starting caliber center that we need, especially not to give up assets to get him. You're not giving up anything to get him, guys. This is a great deal for the Lakers. It is I'm not going to say it's the best deal possible, but it is a great deal for the Lakers, especially when you got teams like, why is Meek Mill on my screen? Especially when you got teams like the Utah Jazz asking for multiple first-round picks and a young player for Walker Kessler. I love Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler is a great rebounder, and he is a better rim protector than Deandre Ayton. But when it comes to scoring the ball, finishing around the rim, shooting the ball at the mid-range, when it just comes to offense, Deandre Ayton is better than Walker Kessler. So you're getting a guy that's better offensively, just as good of a rebounder. Now, Walker Kessler is a better defender when it comes to protecting the rim. But Deandre Ayton is not that far off to where you're going to give up that many more assets to get Walker Kessler over a guy like Deandre Ayton. So that's all I'm saying. Now, would I have rather gotten Walker Kessler if I had the choice to get Walker Kessler for $8 million a year or DeAndre Ayton for $8 million a year? Which one am I choosing? I am 100% choosing Walker Kessler. But DeAndre Ayton at $8 million a year compared to giving up a young player and giving up 2 first-round picks for Walker Kessler, I am doing this deal 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. I am 100% going with giving DeAndre Ayton, who is a damn good center. I'm giving him $8 million a year over giving up all those assets for Walker Kessler. And like I said, Jake LaRavia is a very, very good player. And I think that he can give us the same things Dorian Finney-Smith gave us. But I feel like Jake LaRavia can give us the same things that Dorian Finney-Smith gave us. He's just a younger, more athletic, less grittier version of Dorian Finney-Smith. But I do think with increased playing time, I think that he can give us the same things Dorian Finney-Smith gave us and possibly even develop into a better player. So, but I did want to show you guys a few of these, live threats, or just being a live threat for the Portland Trailblazers with very little playmaking around him. He was still able to succeed in pick and roll, pick and pop offense, with very little playmaking. And like I said, man, one of the other things that I would do, and I'm going to end the video, but this is my last point. One of the other things that I would do to kind of put another veteran presence that can really, really contribute to this team, but he can contribute to the team on the court and off the court, Al Horford. I would 100% try to sign Al Horford to the biannual exception, the $5 million contract. I would 100% give that to Al Horford because Al Horford is a defensive player that can still slide his feet. He can shoot the 3 ball, and he is a great person off the court. He's a family man. He'll get things together. If anything was to ever happen in the locker room, you never really heard anything happening in the locker room with the Celtics. And I think Al Horford was one of the main catalysts to that. Those type of things matter for a team that's trying to go win a championship. I think Al Horford was a very important catalyst to them winning the last couple of years of being really, really good. I would love Al Horford on this team. He's still a free agent. I would 100% give Al Horford that $5 million deal to be the backup center for this team. And then on top of that, Al Horford could even come in the game and play alongside Deandre Ayton because he's so versatile defensively. And then he can shoot the three ball as well. Deandre Ayton, you can have two bigs in the game at the same time. You can play a lot bigger. You can be more versatile. Deandre Ayton is really, really good when it comes to sliding his feet. He's a really good post defender as well. So I love this signing, guys. Getting Deandre Ayton, like I said earlier, getting Deandre Ayton for $8 million a year is an absolute steal, because when free agency, right before it first started, we had no idea this guy was about to get bought out. People were talking about trading for Deandre Ayton because all the centers that they have like 4 centers, and Deandre Ayton was the starter. Now he got bought out. You get him for $8 million a year, and you don't have to give up any assets. That's what I want you guys to think about. You don't have to give up anything to get this guy. And he is a starting caliber center that helped the team make it to the NBA Finals when he was playing with an elite playmaker. We have 3 elite playmakers on our team. So this is a great signing for this team. We finally got a center. This guy is 2 times better than Jackson Hayes. And I expect for Deandre Ayton, on a 2-year deal with the next season being a player option, I expect him to play phenomenal this season. And I really do expect the best out of Deandre Ayton. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Deandre Ayton will be a great fit with this team? Grade the signing as well in the comment section below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.